Well, good afternoon. My goodness, what another nice day here for revitalization of another neighborhood here in Detroit. My name is Charlie Beckham, and I'm Mayor Duggan's Group Executive for Neighborhoods. It's been a pleasure working in this administration as we revitalize important neighborhoods such as we have here today. We were just in this neighborhood a few weeks ago, just to the east of here, announcing the development at Brewster Wheeler and the excitement that we're doing over there. And yet here we are again in Brush Park with another exciting announcement. This neighborhood goes back to the early 1800s. It used to be called Little Paris. You see some of the motifs and the architectural renderings and some of the old buildings that are here. We're going to try to maintain that. Hopefully the families of Brush and Adelaide and Edmond and a lot of the names that you see on the streets around here will be happy with what we're doing. Over the years, there's been a lot of starts and stops with this neighborhood, and hopefully with this development, we're really going to finish up what was started some years ago. And so it's my pleasure now to bring up the mayor who came into office saying that every neighborhood has a future. And so let me introduce to you Mayor Mike Duggan. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Charlie. You talk about this neighborhood in the 1800s and the Brush family like you remember them. You know, I said when I ran that I think a mayor ought to be judged on one standard, and that's whether the population of this city is going up or is it going down. And we get up every morning trying to figure out how to build a community that the population is growing. And today, I'm really pleased to announce a development to take 8.4 acres of vacant land and build 337 units of housing right here in the middle of Brush Park. So for 10 years, I worked up the street at DMC, and I came down these streets every single day. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why, between the expansion that was going on up at the medical center and what was going on around the stadium south of the freeway, why this area didn't go next. But a couple of weeks ago, we announced that John Reel is developing 150 units over there by Brush Park, which is going to bring 500 new units of housing online in this neighborhood in the next 2 or 3 years. And we're going to build from there to the old Brewster Douglas property. We're working with HUD on how we redevelop that property, and I'm hoping before the year's over we come back to you again and tell you we have yet another project, because this area, I think, is long overdue. In the past, city administrations might have gone through and cleared everything out and built fresh. But within the roughly 3.5 block area here, we have 4 historic homes dating back to the 1800s. And the first criteria we put out is that any developer has to restore those homes, that we're going to preserve our history and build around them, not just bulldoze it and start again. And so I'm really pleased that we are keeping the best of the past. We did an open competitive process. We had 9 bidders come in and propose. We did the same thing that we did on the Brewster Wheeler project. We took Mona Ross, the representative of the Brush Park neighborhood, and actually made her a part of the selection committee. She had a vote in the process, because we're looking at financial and planning issues, but we also want neighborhood input. And so again, we're breaking tradition by having representatives of the neighborhood be part of selecting the people that rebuild the city. People told me that you couldn't get community benefits. And yet again, as you're seeing over and over, we've got a commitment from the developer. 51% of the hours worked as we build these projects will be done by residents of the city of Detroit. We're continuing to create jobs for Detroiters, and a minimum of 20% of the units built will be affordable housing. We're building a neighborhood that's going to be available to everybody. That's what we see as we rebuild this city, is keep the best of the old, make sure that it'll be accessible to the entire community. And so what's going to happen is this: we still have some work to do in the final contract. There's going to be meetings with the community. Some of these things may be modified. We expect to have a final contract and proposal up to City Council for their consideration in June. But we wanted to start the public conversation today, and people can get a sense of what's being thought about. It's a great partnership. I think you're going to hear from each of the individual developers, but it's our expectation that the renovation work is going to start on the 4 historic homes almost immediately. Depending on how fast we get through the process, groundbreaking will either occur this fall or next spring. But in 2017, where you're standing, there's going to be people living here. And as far as I'm concerned, it's about time. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to my partner in all these events. She's been just an outstanding voice for Council District 5, and she makes sure that every development we do is in the best interest of everybody in the city. Council Member Mary Sheffield. Mary?
Good afternoon and greetings from District 5. I'm honored to be here today. Today is a monumental day in Detroit's history, and I'm really honored in part to be a part of this occasion. I am encouraged that this development today will bring a more diverse background of individuals into this development. It sends a message to the rest of our city that we will be included in the development and the resurgence of our great city. For Detroit to continue its resurgence, we must provide quality, affordable housing, jobs, opportunity for small businesses to grow, and make sure that we repopulate and continue to grow our tax base. And I believe that this development will do that and much more. Mr. Gilbert and also his team, I believe, has demonstrated a very strong commitment to the residents here in Detroit. This development continues that tradition. Today's announcement is a signal to all those that are investing here in the city of Detroit that Detroit is profitable and also feasible as well. District 5 is the epicenter of everything here from cultural, education, and recreation, and I believe that this will be another asset to add to the great things that are going on in District 5. I'm looking forward to thoroughly vetting out the contract and the agreement and making sure that as a council member I do my due diligence to make sure that it is the best for the residents here in District 5. Again, thank you to the mayor and the administration and all that who are involved in this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Sheffield. We really appreciate your support and working together with us at the administration on these very important projects. Along with my counterpart, Tom Lewan, who's the group exec of the Jobs and Economy team, we had a pretty exhaustive process of looking at some very outstanding proposals for the redevelopment and revitalization of this. But Tom told me we couldn't pick them all. And so we could only pick one. And I concurred with that selection, and I think we're going to see a really great project here. But let me bring up representing that winning group and the winning proposer, principal from the Brush Park Development Partners, Steve Rosenthal. Steve, come on up.
Thank you. This is a very exciting day for us. We all know about the terrific things that have taken place downtown, and we at Bedrock and Rock Ventures have been proud to be part of that. But we also know that in order for Detroit to be economically successful, there needs to be revitalization and investment in neighborhoods as well. That's why our team is so excited about embarking upon the redevelopment of this historic Detroit neighborhood. It's truly a red letter day. No better place to start and kick this off than between these 2 historic mansions here in Brush Park. We've assembled a uniquely qualified group of individuals and organizations to transform the premier neighborhood of Brush Park. Our group, Brush Park Development Partners, working directly with the city and the stakeholders in the community, have the opportunity to preserve history while creating an urban lifestyle. The 8.4-acre mixed-use development will include the rehab of the 4 historic mansions, over 300 units of residential development, including both for sale and for rent, retail, and open green space. Mr. Mayor, we will begin work immediately on the 4 mansions. We will begin work before the end of the year on phase 1 of the development, and we are looking forward to moving families in the end of next year.
Wow, all right.
I know I'm repeating myself, but this is really an exciting day. I do want to recognize some folks before I turn it over. Deb Dansby, Matt Cullen, Steve Ogden somewhere, and the entire development group at Bedrock and Rock Ventures. Thank you very much. It was a great process. We were proud to be part of it and look forward to being part of Brush Park. Now I'd like to introduce one of my partners and my friend, Byron Beatty.
Thank you, Steve, Mr. Mayor, and Honorable City Council Member Sheffield, and all of you honored guests. Thank you so much for being here today. This again, and I think we can only continue to reiterate the positive that is about to take place in this neighborhood. And I think many of us who have driven past this place for so many years and wondered when, what, and how this community could redevelop. Well, today is the day. This is what we've all been hoping for, looking to, and realize, and finally been able to come to realize that the right team has been selected to make this thing happen. I'm Byron Beatty. I've been around town really my whole life. My first development experience is at Greektown Casino, which is 15 years ago now, but it's come a long way. And just recently we opened the Gateway Marketplace out at 8 Mile and Woodward, for which Meijer is really the largest grossing Meijer in their entire system. And it just goes to show that the interest, the need of the people of the city of Detroit, and how we can build the right thing and people will come. This city is on the point of absolute revitalization. This is the first real step into the neighborhood, and all of the conversation about downtown and midtown, it's all necessary. You can't move without it. But what's more important is that people live in an experience that is really life-changing. And to think about bringing people back to a neighborhood that they grew up in. We are really giving people an opportunity who lived in this neighborhood to come back and buy and live and shop and experience in a neighborhood that they've lived in their entire life. What a great opportunity for so many people. But we have a great partnership that we've put together here. And I just want to introduce those people individually and then have a few of them come up and make some comments. Sam Thomas, who has been around longer than me, which is a very positive, Sam, has been around a long time and has done development here and in Benton Harbor, is now a part of our team. Daryl Burks, who many of you know, who is very much involved in the Financial Commission, Review Commission, and many other things as PricewaterhouseCoopers over the years, but a quality individual who has made a tremendous amount of contribution. Freeman Hendricks, the former deputy mayor of the city of Detroit, who is now a businessman in the community and is a stalwart, still lives in this community, continues to support it and provide all of the positive leadership that he has over his entire career. Pam Rogers, who is of Rogers Chevrolet, who also is a Detroiter, who lives in this community, is supporting this community, and really, you know, Pam has been around for a while, but she's really beginning to blossom into the kind of community person, community leader that this community needs. You met Steve Rosenthal, who we over the last just few years have become really confidants, and we've been able to learn each other and help each other to as we move this great opportunity forward. Hamilton Anderson Associates is also a part of this process, and there again is an indication that this is not, we are not building silos here. We are reaching out into the entire community to make sure that every single interest in this property will have a chance to look at it and see where they fit. And that's what development is all about. That's what Detroit development is all about. That's a standard that we will be held to, and that we're more than honored to be able to hold ourselves to that standard. Giffords and Webster are also very much involved, another Detroit-based company that's actively involved. Henry Ford Health System, I see Bob Rainey out there, the president of Henry Ford Health System is here, and they're looking to be a part of this whole process. A great guy, a leader in this community. Thanks, Bob, we appreciate you. And then, of course, Quicken Loans. Think about building a community from the ground up and really revitalizing all these buildings, but at the same time being able to offer people opportunity to get mortgages. So not only we will take you from the beginning, from building this facility to providing you with an opportunity to get a mortgage here if you decide you want to live here. That's just an outstanding piece of opportunity for all of us. So I just want to let you know that our partnership is excited about being here. We believe that we've put together the right team. We will be working throughout this process totally to ensure that everybody is included, that the city and that the entire residents in these communities feel comfortable with what we plan to do. I'm going to introduce to you now Sam Thomas and ask him to come up and make some comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marvin, and thank everyone for being here. My comments will be very brief. I can hardly wait for us to get going and produce the homes and structures that will make us all proud. This is a very unique opportunity, and it doesn't present itself every day. These historic buildings, when they're revitalized, are going to be terrific. And I'm looking forward to playing a role in the redevelopment of this property, and I give you my word that this is going to be a perfectly run and well-executed operation. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve and Marvin and Sam. Mr. Mayor, you can see there are a couple of guys around that have been around here as long as I have, so this is good to see. Really appreciate your efforts here. You know, one of the things that Mayor Duggan insists upon when we do these things is that we make sure that we keep the community of Detroit involved in every step that we take. It was the whole motivation behind him creating the district managers, and most of you all know Vince Keenan and Aaron Harris. They're back here now, who are the district managers here in District 5. They work very closely with Councilwoman Sheffield. And we certainly couldn't do this kind of development without having the Community Development Council here in Brush Park intimately involved in the development of this process. And so it's certainly with pleasure to bring up the head of that organization here in Brush Park, where they've been involved in the activities here in Brush Park from day one. So join me in welcoming Mona Ross up to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd first like to give thanks to God for being here today. And if I get a little emotional, this has been a long time coming. So I'd like to give thanks to our mayor and our community who has made all of the requests and decisions for our neighborhood. I'd also like to give thanks to Councilwoman Sheffield, who has been very supportive on every step that we've done as far as getting to this point. I give thanks to the new developer for putting together a process including everything that we could possibly imagine in Brush Park, including education for our children, including the young, the seniors, the empty nesters, and trying to build a community that will take care of every need that we have possibly asked for. I'd also like to give thanks to Midtown, Karen Gage, Hamilton and Anderson, Sue Mosley. We met with them over 3 years ago, and they sat down with us and helped us to put together what we were requesting to see for our neighborhood. They set up surveys. They invited all of our community out. We put our input in, and from that, we've gotten here today with a developer that we're going to work very hard with to make this happen. I'd like to bring up my board of directors, the Brush Park Community Development Group, please come up. And all of the players who've helped, we've got PVM here, we've got the Senior Housing Director, we've got the Economical Theological Seminary, we've got the Condo Association President, Ron Butler. Let's see, who else do we have here? I like all the directors to come up. And anyone's name that I haven't, I've got my neighbor over here, Jeff. Please, Jeff and your wife, come up, because they played a very, very important part. They invested their money in Detroit, and they've stayed here. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people couldn't. But the ones that did stay and the ones that were here, I give thanks to all of them. These people have really supported every move that I have made. I am only representing them. Okay, so it's not me. I just want to let you know that this is us. And we intend to continue to be us until this actually is completed. I want to thank Dan Gilbert and his team. They've already met with us. They're going to sit down with one of our community directors to put together, you know, the designs and everything. We're so excited about how much of a family this feels like. And I just want to give thanks. I don't want to start crying, so I just want to give thanks. If I've forgotten to thank anyone, please forgive me. It was not intentional. I did thank our mayor, and I should have to thank him again, because he put me on this selection committee, which I was like, wow, that's never happened. That's never happened. I've been in Brush Park for 28 years. This is great. You're a great guy. You are a great guy, okay? So thank you very much for coming out, and I'll turn it back over to the chairman. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mona. Marvin, we just had a couple of housekeeping things. Marvin left a couple of thank yous out, so come up, Marvin, real quick.
Yeah, and you know, thank yous are important. We don't leave nobody off the table. But I just want to recognize Gwen Butler from Capri Capital Management, who is very much involved with us in this whole project. It's important that everybody gets recognized, because we're bringing everybody along. And Gwen, who has been around this town for a long time, and who's an exceptional woman, and her husband has a radio show in Chicago for which I don't ever want to be on. So thank you very much.
So what do you think? It's all right?